All right, let's pull back the curtain on one of the most bizarre and universal things we all do, dreaming. We're going to dive deep into the science of what's really happening inside our heads when we fall asleep and our brain starts rolling the cameras on its own very strange private movie.
I mean, you know the feeling, right? You're flying over your childhood home with your third-grade teacher, or maybe you're running in slow motion from a monster made of cheese. Dreams can be amazing, they can be absolutely weird, and they almost always leave us asking that same question. Where on earth did that come from?
So here's where we're headed. We'll start with a look at how we've tried to make sense of dreams throughout history. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty science of what's happening in your brain. We'll tackle the big question of why we even dream, learn how to decode those scary nightmares, and finally, wrap up with what our dreams can really tell us.
You know, our obsession with dreams, it's nothing new. For thousands of years, from ancient priests to modern psychologists, we've been desperately trying to figure out what these nightly visions actually mean.
So way back when, civilizations like the ancient Egyptians thought dreams were literal messages from the gods. Pretty straightforward. Then you fast forward a few thousand years, and a guy named Sigmund Freud shows up. He completely changes the game, saying dreams aren't coming from the heavens, but from deep inside our own minds. You know, all our hidden wants and wishes in disguise. But today, science has shifted again. Now we mostly see dreams as a biological process, something our brain just does to help us manage our memories and our emotions.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and see what's actually going on in there. When you're in the deepest, most vivid part of dreaming, that's called REM sleep, your brain is, in some ways, just as active as it is right now. But, and this is the key, it's playing by a totally different set of rules. And this right here, this explains why dreams feel the way they do. Super emotional, but completely illogical. Your brain's emotion center, the amygdala, is cranked up to 11, making you feel all the terror of being chased. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part that handles logic and reason, is pretty much offline. That's why you don't stop to think, hey, wait a minute, giant teacups can't run until after you wake up.
And get this, while your brain is having this wild emotional party, it sends a signal to paralyze almost your entire body. It's this brilliant little safety feature. It's literally what keeps you from physically jumping out of bed when you dream you can fly, or from swinging at your partner when you dream you're in a boxing match.
Have you ever had this brilliant dream? Something you were desperate to remember, but the second you went to tell someone, poof, it just vanished? Yeah, that happens to all of us. Our brains just aren't built to hold on to dream memories. A shocking 90% of them completely fade away within just 10 minutes. It's why dream journals are a thing. If you want to catch them, you gotta write them down fast.
Okay, so we know what's happening, but why? Why does our brain do all this? Is it just random brain static? Well, scientists are pretty sure the answer is a big no. Dreaming is like the brain's night shift, and it has some really important jobs to do. Let's look at the top 3 theories.
Okay, theory number 1 is all about survival. It suggests that dreams are basically a virtual reality simulator. Your brain runs these mental fire drills for scary situations. So when you dream about being chased or falling or messing up a big presentation, you're actually practicing your response to fear and stress. It's an ancient system designed to make you sharper and better prepared for threats in the real world.
The second big idea is that dreams are a form of overnight therapy. During REM sleep, our brain hits the mute button on certain stress chemicals. This creates this calm, safe mental space where we can revisit tough memories and experiences, but without all the intense anxiety. It's literally how the brain helps us heal, taking the sharp emotional edge off of difficult events so we can wake up feeling a bit more reset.
And theory number 3 is about memory. Think of your brain like a messy desk at the end of a long day. Dreaming is the night crew that comes in to clean up and get organized. It sorts through everything that happened, deciding what's important enough to file away into long-term memory, like studying for a test, and what's just mental junk mail that can be tossed out. It's absolutely crucial for how we learn.
Now let's talk about the dreams we all wish we could forget. Nightmares. They can feel so terrifying, so random, but science is telling us they are anything but. The best way to think about them is as your brain's built-in alarm system.
Nightmares are almost always connected to what's going on in our waking lives. Things like everyday stress, anxiety, some unresolved issue, or a big life change. And they're super common. About 85% of us have them. They basically happen when our emotional stress is just too much for that overnight therapy system to handle. Instead of soothing the emotion, the brain just screams it.
So, the real key to understanding a nightmare is to focus less on the crazy story and more on the feeling. The brain speaks in metaphors here. Dreaming of being chased, you're probably avoiding something or feeling under a lot of pressure. Falling? That often points to feeling insecure or like you're losing control. The classic teeth falling out dream is usually about anxiety over how others see you. And being trapped, well, that one's pretty direct. It usually means you feel stuck in a real-life situation.
Oh, and a quick but really important clarification. Nightmares are not the same as night terrors. A nightmare is just a bad dream that happens during that REM stage. It has a story and you remember it. A night terror happens in a much, much deeper stage of sleep. It's more like a sudden explosion of panic. Someone might scream or thrash around, but they have no memory of a dream at all because there wasn't one.
So, we've looked at the history, the science, the why. Where does that leave us? What's the final takeaway from all of this? What's the bottom line? It's really this. Dreams are not meaningless static. They're not just random noise. They are a fundamental, purposeful, and absolutely vital part of keeping you mentally and emotionally healthy. They help us learn, they help us heal, they help us prepare. They're a window into what's really on our minds. I really love this quote from Harvard researcher Dr. Deirdre Barrett because it just nails it. Your dream life isn't some separate, weird thing. It's a direct continuation of your waking life. Your brain is chewing on the exact same problems and feelings. It's just using a totally different operating system, one that speaks in symbols and emotions instead of logic.
So I want to leave you with a couple of big, kind of mind-bending questions to think about. As science gets closer and closer to actually being able to see our dreams from our brain scans, are we about to lose the last truly private space we have? And, on an even deeper level, some scientists have wondered, based on brain activity after the heart stops, could the experience of dying itself just be one final vivid dream? Something to think about next time you close your eyes.